Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to the Lindsay Anderson Show. So excited to be here today. We're talking about the top sales myths and why you can't believe them and why you're letting them get in the way of you actually closing more deals. And so we're talking about sales myths. Welcome, everybody. Nice to see you. We're live today on the Lindsay Anderson Show everywhere. I'm on Instagram. Hello, Instagram. Thank you guys so much for coming today. I am live on LinkedIn and YouTube and Facebook. So excited to see everybody. I hope everybody's having a really great summer. Hey, everybody. Nice to see you. Yesterday, a big shout out to everybody who joined me for my September Sales Surge Masterclass yesterday. It was a great turnout. Loved seeing everybody there. If you didn't get a chance to actually make it to that masterclass and you want a copy of that, okay, make sure that you send me a DM. Just DM me, or you can put it in the comments. My team is here with us today. Put replay, and I will make sure that you get a replay of yesterday's webinar. I don't usually offer that there. I told people there wasn't a replay, but I will give you, for joining me on the Lindsay Anderson Show, a replay of yesterday's September Sales Surge Masterclass, because here's what you got to know. Here's what you got to know. Hey, nice to see you. We'll make sure that we get you guys, everybody here, we'll make sure we get you a replay. Gracie, if you can make sure you take some names down, because especially on Instagram, they don't keep the comments after the live is over. So yesterday, this is what you got to know. I know we're in July and I'm about to say the C word here, which is Christmas. Okay. I don't want to scare you and I don't want to bring up Christmas when it's middle of July, but here's what you have to know about your business. And if you're the kind of business owner who is in constant chaos mode and you feel like you're always chasing and running after clients and wondering where your next clients are going to come from, and it feels more like your business is running you instead of the other way around, it's called the answer to that is strategic planning and long-term thinking. And so you can't be like, well, it's summer. The summer lull, okay, the summer slump is what we call it, can be a little bit annoying because people are off vacationing and they have their kids home and they're not ready to make big decisions. I totally get it. And many business owners will absolutely check out this time of year. And then once the kids are back in school, they'll try to get this momentum back up and running in their business. But the fact is, if you start in September, it's too late, because September is the very best time to make sales in your online business. And so what do you need to do? You got 6 weeks here to make sure you have your audience built, to make sure you have your offers, to make sure you have a conversion event, to make sure that you have momentum already before we get into the September sales surge, in order to take full advantage of that. Because I bring up Christmas because basically you're really good to make sales in September and October and just a little bit of November before we get into the holidays, and people will then not want to be making those buying decisions. And so if you want to get out of this hustle mode in your business, you've got to have a longer term strategy and a longer term plan. And not only that, if you are suffering from the summer slowdown, uh, you don't have to, because you got to maintain and keep your momentum and you don't have to suffer this way. But it's about thinking bigger and a longer term strategy and actually planning some things out. And that's what yesterday's masterclass was all about. It's so nice to see everybody here today. Thank you for joining me on the Lindsay Anderson Show. We're talking about sales myths, the top sales myths. Hi, everybody. Nice to see you guys on Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube as well. If you want a replay of that webinar, that masterclass, telling you and detailing you for you what you need to know in order to take full advantage of September, I do the strategic planning for you. All you need to do is write the word replay. My team will reach out and make sure that you get a copy of yesterday's replay. Nice to see you guys. So let's dive into sales myths. How do you guys feel about sales? Let me know in the comments. One word, how do you feel about sales? And this can be a wide array for people. Some people really hate sales. Some people really, really like sales. And so I'm curious where you're at. For me, I'll answer that, which is I've been doing this for 20 years and I really struggled with sales for the beginning portion of my career. I didn't want to do sales. It scared me. I didn't want to sound salesy or pushy or any of these things. And so I was really hesitant to dive into sales. And I'm a digital marketer. So I went down so many roads. Okay. I know how to do a lot of things digital marketing. I would sell tiny courses. I would sell memberships. I would lower my prices. I would, bargain basement, all this stuff. And what it really came down to, okay, none of that was the answer. The answer is if you want a scalable business and you want to sell higher ticket packages that are worth your time, you have to learn how to be a good salesperson. For me, okay, it was number one, a lack of sales skills. And so when I realized that, I really dove in and I had coaches and I read books and I put in my 100 reps of sales calls, 100 plus reps by now. But it's understanding that I want to be a good salesperson and then doing those things that a highly qualified salesperson does, okay? Is they learn and they do the reps. The other thing that was holding me back from sales, and let me know in the comments if this resonates with you at all, even especially if you're on replay. Hey, everybody, nice to see you guys. Nice to see you guys. Is money issues. So I grew up, my dad was a dairy farmer right when dairy farmers were no longer cool anymore. So we went bankrupt. And so I had, a tumultuous living paycheck to paycheck, couldn't go to this grocery store because we had bounce checks there and don't answer the phone and the lights are going off. So we really struggled growing up and I saw the fear and I adopted those attitudes towards money. Okay. I remember Christmas Eve delivering pizzas with my mom as she delivered for Pizza Hut on Christmas Eve because I wanted to spend Christmas Eve with my mom. And so those kind of issues really started showing up as an entrepreneur. I wouldn't charge what I was worth. I was assuming other people had the same money issues that I did, and it didn't serve me. It kept me broke for a very long time. It prevented me from helping my customers in the very best way. It made me devalue myself and my time. And it really was a concern. Like it really affected me until I wrapped my arms around it and was ready to tackle it. So, as they say, the first step is admitting it. So I admitted I had money issues and that it was holding me back. I finally realized after trying so many things to just not get on a sales call, nothing works. Okay. It won't work. Nothing works. No PDF works. No tiny offer works. Lowering your prices doesn't work. Nothing works. You have to know how to have these sales calls because with high quality sales calls, it's nice to see you guys. With high quality sales calls come all that information from your customer. You can hear what your customer's problems are. You can prescribe to them what program or package would actually work for them instead of kind of like hiding and hoping that the digital marketing will do the work for you. Hey, everybody. So nice to see you. So, top sales myth. And we also had a bunch of questions that came in on the Lindsay Anderson show around sales myths. We're going to cover a couple of those guys today as well, a couple of those questions. So, if you guys have any questions here or on Instagram, certainly let me know. Nice to see you guys. All right. So, myth number one. Myth number one, sales is all about being pushy. Okay. I hear this all the time. Lindsay, I don't want to do sales because salespeople are pushy. That is a belief. That is certainly something, right? Like if I go and ask my 7-year-old, what do you think about salespeople? Of course, his answer will be they're pushy, they're used car salesmen, they're trying to trick you, they are dishonest. So these beliefs, nice to see you guys. These beliefs are like it's in the culture. It's in the culture. We see it on TV, we see it in cartoons. And then all of a sudden, when you're supposed to show up and sell your product or service, like you kind of adopt those characteristics, or you think that's what they think of me. And so I would really, around sales is all about being pushy, I'm going to argue that all day long. Okay. Number one, you can definitely have an authentic sales conversation. You show up as sales as a service. That's how I view it. Okay. I help online business owners who are in constant chaos mode, who are constantly struggling, whose business is more of a job than a real business. And I help them actually build a real business that can afford them more time, more money, more freedom, and more impact. And that is by implementing sale systems and strategies that add balance to what they're doing. And I view that as a service. If I can help you as an online business owner actually make more money, have more freedom, understand what you don't see because you don't know how to run a business that scales or a business that serves a lot of people, that is a service. And the same goes for all of the coaches that I've ever had. And I always have a coach. Okay. I love coaches. That is the quickest way to get where you're going, is to not figure it out for yourself, but to find somebody who has already done it and ask them to help you. That's the way that you're going to get ahead. And I would just say this about sales is all about being pushy. I know I am grateful for every single time a coach has had a sales call with me, because if it wasn't for them and them willing to show up and say, "This is what I offer, Lindsay, I can help you," I would not be where I am today. And your customers will view that as well. But if you think you're being pushy, okay, if you don't think sales is a service, you're going to really struggle on those sales calls. Hey, everybody, it's so nice to see you. Okay. So, number one, sales is not about being pushy. It's not about being pushy. It is about sales as a service. If you have value to offer people, then you're doing a disservice by hiding and thinking that they are going, like hiding and not offering your services. Okay. Number two, here we go. Good products sell themselves. Thank you guys so much. Good products sell themselves. Not true. Okay. I see this a ton, which is we have the marketing washing machine that I call it. And these are all the people in your realm. They are the people that you know, they're prospects that you've talked to, they're people who listen to your podcast. Maybe they read your book. Maybe they've downloaded your lead magnet or on your email list. Like, you have this marketing washing machine. And as you meet these people and they go to social media, they'll see a couple of posts or two and they see you. It's a washing machine. Like, you're all over the place. And a lot of people, this is a huge myth. Many people think, well, if they know me, okay, they know me. That's a prospect that I had a call with. Of course, she knows what I offer. When she is ready, she will reach out, certainly, and buy from me. This is a huge myth. Okay. They will not reach out and buy from you. Okay. They have so many things going on. Maybe they even forgot what you do. You are assuming that these individuals are going to reach out to you. And so you lay back and you're like, I know a lot of people. I'm sure eventually they're going to reach out. I have a good product. It should sell itself. And the answer is it won't. It will not. That is a myth. You have to have a way for people to take that next step and make it crystal clear. Your prospects are exactly like children, and I've had 3 of them, okay, very young, and they are just like children, and they need you to grab them by the hand and walk them through what that next step is. And so it is essential that you are always offering up what that next step is. Now, yesterday in my masterclass, I shared with you what the answer to that is. I'm not going to go over that today, but again, if you want a replay of yesterday's masterclass, September Sales Surge, make sure that you put the word replay right here in the comments. So, here's our big myth. Sales is all about being pushy. Not true. Myth busted. Okay. Good products sell themselves. Not true. Myth busted. And I think I have a couple of sales myths here. I think the final one that we're going to cover today, and then we're going to get to a couple of questions. Nice to see everybody today. Thank you for the comments. We got a lot of comments. Showing up authentic and confident. Sales is a service. I see a lot of people who want that replay. Thank you so much for joining me on the show. This is one of my favorite things to do. So the final myth that I want to cover, and this one's a popular one, okay? And this is one that you're going to be like, that's right, Lindsay, but then you're still going to do it, okay? And it is lowering your prices is the best way to close a deal. That is not true. Okay. Most people are buying from emotion. And if you can make that connection with that person, you lowering your price has very little to do with it. If they see the value and they need the help, and you have clearly communicated what you can do to help them, and they have that problem, okay, the dollar amount is very minuscule in terms of whether or not they're going to buy from you. And so many people, and I did that, I shared this at the top of the hour, okay, is like, I'm just going to lower my prices. And really, when you lower your prices after helping hundreds of people make high ticket sales, it is typically because you don't think you're worth it. Okay. Because you don't see you don't see like a Tony Robbins, right? Like, I'm just going to pick like this huge person. You don't see like a Tony Robbins walking around and discounting his rates. What does he do? He says it's $10,000 an hour. And if somebody says no, like, it's like, yeah, sorry. Like, that is what the value is. And so lowering the price is not the case. If you feel like you should lower the price, it is not going to help you. And it's something that I really recommend that you start looking at. Why do I not think that I'm worth this? Why do I not think that I would be able to charge this? Because it's not about price. It is not about price. Okay. It might be easier for you, and you might be like, "Oh, it's $59 when you should be charging 35 freaking hundred for it." And it might make you feel better because you feel better about charging 59, but it really goes back to what I mentioned a little bit a little while ago, which is it really comes down to your money beliefs. You really don't think people have the money or are willing to pay for that value. So start looking at your own beliefs. Hey everybody, it's so nice to see you. So those are the three biggest sales myths that I want to cover today. Look at those. Focus on sales. If you haven't ever really focused on sales and wanted to and studied your sales skills and studied them and learned how to use psychological triggers and understanding how people think and how it's best to communicate your value to them. If you've never done that and you kind of close on rapport, and if people like me, then they'll buy from me. I'm telling you, learning sales skills is like the number one thing that will take your business to the next level. Go and fill that hole. It's like a hole in your boat. Your boat is sinking. If you want to fill the hole, fill the sales hole. Okay. Nice to see you guys. All right. Let's get to a couple of questions today. So we had a question, Lindsay. Do you use a sales script? So my answer is yes. And I sell the sales script and I share the sales script with all of my coaching clients in all of my programs, and it's called the calls to clients sales script. But this sales script is not pulling up a document and reading word for word what it says on the document. What this document and this script are the necessary questions. Yeah, it is really important. Are the necessary questions that I know that I need to ask in order to get enough information from somebody so that I can appropriately prescribe my programs to them or see if they're even a good fit for my programs. What I don't want is like anyone in my programs. I want people who I know will succeed in my programs because like that is my goal, because their success is my success. So like trying to trick somebody into a sale, that just won't serve you. A lot of people don't use a script. And this is probably like old belief systems, but like I would argue that if you're showing up to your sales calls and you're like, I'm just gonna, I know how to talk to people. I'm just gonna have this conversation and see if they'll buy my stuff. You are making a huge misstep. Okay. I would even go as far as saying you are showing up to that call unprepared. And so you need to go prepared. What are those questions? For me, I need to know like what on social media. I need to know what your programs are. I need to know how much money that you're making. I need to know what your audience looks like. I need to know these things so I can appropriately prescribe. And I can't just think of these off the top of my head, nor do I want to, nor do I even want to do that because I don't want to put that much energy into thinking when I'm on the call. What I want to do on a sales call is listen to what my prospect is saying and not trying to think of what my next question is. There's just too much going on that I don't want to have to think of questions, and you're going to be a lot more successful that way. Okay. So, yes, I use a script. Yes, you should use a script. Yes, you should take notes on your sales calls. Here's another thing that I do. Okay. And this is the next question, which is what is your sales process? So, we get people on a phone call. I have a phone call. And while I'm talking to them, I am typing notes. Because for me, and it should be for you too, is this sales thing, it's not about this phone call. It's not about, okay, I had a phone call with somebody on Tuesday and they said no. And I'm like, okay, goodbye, you're dead to me. That's not sales. And when we talk about a sales process, it is I'm taking notes, I'm putting those to where I know where they are, and I'm nurturing that relationship until it is a good time for them to say yes. If you are constantly getting on sales calls and people say no, and you do not do any other reach out or nurturing or checking in, you're missing out on so many sales. So my sales process is I bring people, we get them on a call, we have a conversion event. Again, put replay in if you want like the full layout of what I'm talking about here, but we have our conversion event. We bring in high quality sales calls. I have a sales call, I have my script. I get all my questions answered. I prescribe if it's appropriate, and then they get a task assigned. Hey, check in with this person, see how this person is doing. Because sales, they're not just going to reach out when they're ready. It is sales happen when they have a pain and you show up in their world, and like that is a connection. Like that's a good timing. And so you want to make sure that you're nurturing these leads. And especially if you've already been on a sales call with somebody for an hour, you've made a connection, they know who you are. Like the chances of them enrolling or buying from you in the future is incredibly high because you've already made this connection. So don't say you're dead to me now. Track them, make a task to follow up with them. And that is really my sales process. I take detailed notes just like a doctor would. I take it real seriously, people growing their businesses. And because like growing your business, it's not for the weak, okay? And it's not for the lackadaisical, and it doesn't work if you just throw spaghetti at the wall. And I do like consider myself like I want to help you, so I need to know this information, and I take it very, very seriously. Okay. Here's the final question. Nice to see you guys today. The final question is this. Hey, Lindsay, how do you manage your sales leads? So I'm going to answer that straight by just saying I use a add-on on Active Campaign, which is my email system that will also allow me to track sales and relationships. And this tool is very useful to do that. It helps me make tasks and keep organized, and who do I need to follow up with, and what did I say to them, and what's going on, because it's too much to handle in your head. Okay. It's kind of an expensive plugin. But I really like it. So I do recommend it. But for people who haven't tracked sales leads before, or like you're new to this and you're used to just closing people on rapport, here's what I recommend. And I teach this. I share the strategy with all of my coaching programs, and that is the $1,000,000 Rolodex. And all that is, okay, is you're gonna pull up a spreadsheet, and you have different tabs. So you have tabs for prospects, you have tabs for old clients, you have tabs for referral partners, you have tabs for people you would like to meet. You have all these tabs for kind of like organizing who these people are. And then you're going to put their name on this spreadsheet. And this is very one-on-one combat. It's not like we're not getting lost in technology, but I find that doing this manual work of the $1,000,000 Rolodex, and who do I know, and who are the last 20 people that I have actually had sales calls with? Okay. You're not going to remember that. You have to write that down. You will be shocked at how many people you can put on this list, because this is what happens when you start documenting relationships, because relationships are the most important way to grow your business. So you need to document them. Like, don't leave it up to happenstance, but start documenting these relationships. And this is what happens. Hey, nice to see you guys today. This is what happens is that you'll write down 10 people and be like, oh yeah, and I know this person and this person and this person. And then your brain will like free up some space, and it will like start going different directions and be like, oh yes, I did connect with Melanie at that event. And there was like 5 other people that I connected with at that event that I need to circle back with. And you'll start finding more and more and more people to put on your $1,000,000 Rolodex. So that's my big takeaway. Hey, nice to see you guys. That's my big takeaway. How do I manage sales leads? Well, yes, you can use technology, but first start documenting them. They are your biggest asset: relationships, old sales leads, okay? People that you're talking to right now, people who came to your masterclass. These guys all are hot leads that you need to track. And so write it down. The writing this down on a spreadsheet and actually managing your relationships can also really help you as we talk about the summer slump, or as we're building up for the September sales surge. And that is because then all of a sudden you can pull up a spreadsheet and be like, you know what? Hey, yeah, relationships. You know what? I actually know a lot of people I'm going to invite to my invite only event. I actually have a lot of pretty warm sales leads. Oh my gosh, I'm looking at my bank account. It's not really where I want it to be. I'm going to reach out to 20 of these old sales leads, but you won't be able to do that unless you start documenting it and taking it seriously. And I'll just say this, okay? Where attention goes, energy flows. And so if you're managing your relationships and you're focused on documenting your relationships and you're really good at that, what happens? Okay. Things expand. You'll have more relationships. You'll get more sales. You'll really understand that you have unlimited potential to make sales. Anybody out there who is like, there's no one to talk to. I can't make any sales. I'm just going to end this. I'm going to end this episode pretty bluntly. Maybe you guys are going to hang up on me after I say this. Okay. It's not them. Okay. If you're sitting around being like, I can't find any customers, no one's signing up with me, this is not their problem. This is a you problem, because with social media, there's a bazillion people you can meet. Okay. I'll give you this little hack. When people say to me, I don't have anyone to sell to, I don't have anyone to connect with, I don't know who to talk to, pull up your social media, and social media right there, okay, will say you and Emily have 50 of the same connections in common. So add friend. Hey, Tanya, we have 50 of the same people in common. I thought we should get to know each other. Boom. Boom. You now have somebody else in your world. There is an endless amount of people to talk to and sell to. Typically, if you're like, I'm not making enough sales, and why I think this is your fault, thank you guys so much. Why I think this is your fault and nobody else's is because social media makes it so easy to meet endless amounts of people. And so it's you hiding, it's you trying to market your way out of a sales problem, it's you not putting yourself out there, it's you devaluing yourself. You have some sort of beliefs about, I am a sleazy salesperson, and so you're hiding away. These are all what you think your reality is, but it's just not the facts. It's just not facts. Okay. So thank you so much for joining me on this episode of The Lindsay Anderson Show. I am live are we at Thursday already? The 4th of July kind of screwed me up. Okay. Every single Thursday at 11 o'clock. Join me live. Love to talk. We talk about sales. We talk about systems. We talk about how to really grow your business and get more customers, baby. That's what we want. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. Everybody who made comments, really appreciate that. And again, if you want a replay, a limited time replay of yesterday's masterclass, all you need to do is write the word replay in the comments, and I'll make sure my team gets you over a limited time replay. Thank you so much for joining me, and we will see you guys next week.